trying to get done on his project S13 240. I'm going to show you guys that car a little bit and a little bit about what we're doing today. And then later on this afternoon, we're going to try and get my dual caliper hydro kit buttoned up on my drift car, my 350Z. So stay tuned. All right, we made it. Here she is in all of its glory. S13 hatch. And David. And then we got a little secret back there that'll be discussed at a different time. But this is a work of art. You want to tell me about it?
Here's a 92 hatch. Had it for almost 2 years. Bought it. Was a automatic KA. Drove it once, took it all apart. Slammed an LS in it. It's close to being done. Just been doing things. Got the brakes done a couple weeks ago. Got some stuff to tidy up.
And what kind of brakes are these?
They are twin turbo 300ZX brakes.
Very nice. They're 4 pots, right?
Yeah, 4 pots.
Gotcha.
Got the Injuku conversion lines. The best coilovers known to man.
Max speeding rods.
And yeah.
So, is this just LS1?
It is a LS1 that is completely rebuilt to stock cam, stock pistons, stock crank. Nothing special, just rebuilt it back to normal specs. Just a fun daily ripper.
All about the reliability, but still plenty of power for this chassis.
It's got aftermarket fuel rails, AN lines, all the swap parts for ISR. Super nice stuff. Bolted up, it works. F-body front accessories. Gotta go with the Koyo Rad.
Good rad.
Amazon fans that rip off the company. They work pretty good on the drift car.
So we got, what kind of management system in this thing?
Oh, you gotta go with the Holly.
Absolutely.
So this has got a Holly Terminator in it. 24X because it's a Gen 3 motor. You can't really go wrong with the Holly. Super nice, super simple. Easy to learn. I learned how to tune a lot of it myself with some help.
I mean, everything's labeled, so it's pretty basic plug-and-play stuff. You just got to tie it in to just receive power and then work out the kinks, but it does have self-learning. So, I mean, it'll kind of get you a good baseline so you can putt around, you know, break the car in or break the engine in, and then go get it professionally tuned. You got a T56 behind this motor, right?
Yeah, so it is a LS1 T56. Used clutch came with it, so hopefully it'll be good.
You know what kind of clutch? Is it a monster?
No, it's not a monster. I don't remember what it is. It's like it's not like an eBay clutch, but it's not top of the line. It's kind of in the middle. It came out of like a 500 horsepower car.
Oh geez, well that's plenty of clutch for this motor.
Yeah, it should be fine. It's probably better than what I have in the BMW.
And the BMW's been beaten on.
And that has a LS7 Amazon clutch.
Gotcha. What kind of headers do we have here?
So the headers, motor mounts, trans mounts are all ISR.
ISR swap. And solid mounts, right?
Poly mounts.
Poly mounts, that's right. I forgot. It's been a while. You can't really see them down there. But.
Super nice stuff, affordable. Get it all on Juku. The only headache really that I had with this car was just trying to wire the Holly to the factory Nissan stuff, which it's not hard. It's only a few wires, but I had to look up like RB swap stuff to get it going.
Just a tie-in, voltage, power,
yeah,
keyed
just
power,
time, and figuring out the right wire. So,
and nothing goes as planned. ever.
No. We fired it up, what, twice?
Yeah.
And it's been a while.
With a ton of vacuum leaks.
Yeah, it had a lot of vacuum leaks. I've done all that stuff. It's got coolant in it now.
I know we bled the brakes and the slave the other weekend. That stuff should be holding. I think last you checked it, what, a week ago? Still had pressure.
It's been working pretty well.
And this car, Dave found late one night on Facebook Marketplace. And a very sweet lady sold it to us. Her daughter drove it, outgrew it, and it just sat in her backyard. For a couple of years, she listed it for $700. All it needed was, of course, fresh fuel. I think you put a new fuel tank in it, right?
Yeah, the fuel,
it had like congealed, it was nasty. And the fuel tank was rusted.
Fuel tank was pretty bad. The fuel pump was like so rusty that it kept blowing fuses. So I did a new tank, a new pump. I found a manual swap that was local. I threw that in there, and I guess after it sat for so long, all the seals and stuff went bad, so it was leaking oil really bad. I put a new oil pan gasket on it. It was still leaking.
I had a severe oil leak on that.
Yeah,
that KA was dumping oil.
It would dump like a quarter of a quart if you let it idle for like 3 minutes. It was ridiculous.
But it was running driving. You had it running driving, technically.
Driving, yeah.
Still auto, but hey, I mean, a little bit of work, running driving. KA auto S13 for $700. I mean, not including new tank, but that was dropping a bucket.
When I did the manual swap in the tank, I only had like $500 into the car.
That's a crazy good deal. I mean, it's super clean car. The paint, I mean, paint's a little tired, but I mean, what do you want? Jeez.
It's 30-year-old Nissan paint for sure. Whoever owned it before definitely drifted it auto.
Or tried. Drift, quotation marks.
The tires that came on it are completely bald. I mean, corded, bald. Very
the
bad.
Maypops.
You can see they're dry rotted.
Oh, severely. Well, I mean, they held air, and it sat for, what, 2 years? Something like that?
Oh.
On these things?
It's been sitting for 7 years on those.
But I mean, showing cords, I mean, they definitely did some spirited driving on this thing before they parked it.
And I think it had a little bit of damage over here. You can see where it was pulled a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of repair here. Bonked it.
But really, the only rust that was in the car was down here, which is pretty common. That was the only rust in the trunk. And then under the battery tray, which is super common for these to rust right there.
What's up with the exhaust? What kind of exhaust we got here?
That is a exhaust from the land down under.
A little Aussie exhaust.
Shout out to Hyperfest for the free exhaust.
That's right, you won this exhaust.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It sounds okay. It's not as loud as I'd like it to be.
I don't know if I've heard this car with the exhaust hooked up. I think it was just headers when we started it.
Last time we did it was just headers.
Nice and rowdy. But a little bit of paint. Are you going to wrap it or paint this thing?
I believe I'm going to wrap it. So I got some over fenders coming for it, so we're going to cut this thing up.
Oh boy.
Probably do a wrap. Still trying to decide what body kit I want. Just have fun with it. Learn a new skill.
We tried our hand at, I guess you could call that wrapping, on the roof of my car. It was kind of late. We'd had a few beers and became impatient near the end, and we really didn't have enough material, but we made it work. It looked better than it did before, I guess. Anyways, you'll see my car later on, but $700, kind of running driving, full interior, good condition interior.
Was a aftermarket radio, AutoZone blast pipe.
That's right. It had like a cherry bomb on it, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it came straight out.
Melted the bumper.
Exhaust came straight out, no turn down whatsoever, and just wreaked havoc on this bumper. It's gone. I think they may have cut it to access the tow point a little easier too, now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I had to take that off because it didn't fit the ginormous exhaust tip.
Yeah, but definitely melted. But full interior, The dash is absolutely flawless in this thing. Not a flaw on it.
If anybody knows anything about these things are...
I wouldn't even touch it right now, honestly. That makes me nervous.
They get destroyed, they crack. This one's pretty man. It's only got one blemish, which is right here. Which, I'll take that.
I didn't even know about that. I just told him it was flawless. But steering wheel, I mean, pretty much like showroom floor quality. Driver's seat, been stitched a little bit. I mean, you're gonna see wear on this bolster, but I mean, I have no complaints about this car. This is possibly the most put together interior of an S13 that I've seen.
Yeah, and it's apart right now just from running wires for the Holly.
Yeah, the rest of the interior is back here. We popped all these panels out and of course removed the seats and stuff to route the wiring for the Holly system and of course the trunk battery relocation. But everything's here and it's really clean. Needs a little oil on the hinge, but hey, not a real complaint. But I'm stoked to get this thing ripping. And how long have you been working on this thing? Well, you've had it, we were just talking about this morning. What, 2 years?
Yeah, so it'll be like December 10th, which is coming up in a month. It'll be 2 years.
That's really not bad. It's a lot of work for 2 years, especially in a driveway on jack stands.
Yeah, they're an actual habitat.
Just 240 things chilling on jack stands. But these are the wheels you're gonna put on it, right?
Yeah.
Some lovely Stage Monroes. Nice bronze wheels. I love the stretch. The sidewall stretch on these things. Man, looks real good. But we've test fit it. It looks immaculate on this car. And of course, you did the 5-lug swap in the rear, so we could put the stages on it, because it came on these bing bong things, whatever, multi-lug.
They don't even make those anymore.
Yeah, someone out there, if you're looking for these wheels, hit me up. I know where to get them. But 5-lug swap. Are you gonna go dual caliper in the rear with a hydro, or?
Nah, I don't really look to drift this car too much.
Just a nice fun haver.
Nice fun street daily. These things are getting kind of hard to find.
You might hoon it a little. Let's be honest.
Yeah, when I first picked it up, I wanted to have like a daily drifter that I could take to the track a little bit.
That's what they all say.
Unfortunately, the local track closed down, so I just take the BMW.
The closest track to us, RIP Spirit JP.
Rip Spirit.
Anyways, that's a whole different rabbit hole to get into. That's a mess. Some of you may know about that. It's very tragic what happened to a lot of the drifting community that contributed funds to try and get a better track built, and the deal went south and basically everyone got screwed out of their money. I'm sure you could Google it and find a bunch of information on that situation at this point, because it is everywhere. But I'm excited for David to finish this car and get this thing ripping. It's going to be awesome, especially once we get a wrap on it and shine it up a bit. It'll still be an awesome sleeper with how it sits, you know. The tired paint, still a little bit of mildew on it from sitting for so long.
So when we got it, I pressure washed it and it cleaned up decent. I mean, it's the paint on these things are never that good.
Yeah.
But after sitting for a while, it's gotten pretty bad again.
Yeah, well, I mean, can't move it. It's been under the knife outside. But we found this thing down behind this lady's house, down a pretty steep hill, I'd say. And it's kind of in like a runoff area, so it was very marshy around the car. We were expecting to see the bottom of this thing kind of rotted out. But, you know, I think we got down as low as we could without physically laying in the mud and checked it out.
It was like, it had been raining for like 2 days.
Yeah, it was nasty, swampy, nighttime by the time we got there. I think we pushed it as far as we could before we got to the hill. And then we backed my truck down and towed that thing up the hill and then loaded it on the trailer. Went fairly smoothly, way smoother than I expected.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well, actually.
And got that thing, got it home, looked it over. I think we looked it over when we got it on the trailer, and it's spotless underneath. I mean, it's...
Yeah, the frame rails are the nicest I've seen on any car.
Yeah,
I mean, luckily it had like a ton of oil leaks, so it like preserved the underside of the car. But yeah,
natural undercoating of
undercoating.
a KA, of tired KA.
Shout out to KAs and KA trans.
I mean, hey, it saved the chassis, but of course, in typical David fashion, he finds a very minor issue with a motor and makes it an excuse to LS swap it.
Yeah.
But I don't really blame him. I really don't blame him. If that's his only crutch, then hey, that's not a real complaint. But got a catch can here. Of course, very important to have.
Amazon, baby.
That Amazon special, son. But we're getting the rear coilovers installed today, buttoning some things up in the rear, finishing up the max speeding rods. We're getting these adjusted now. Just wanted to get this video recorded for you guys before the sun goes down fully, because it's going to get cold fast and things become more difficult.
Warriors.
That's
Shout out
right.
to you guys.
That's right. Driveway warriors. But hopefully this 240, she'll be ripping very soon and off of these jack stands.